12, and I just want to let everybody know that I had to log into GMetrix 3 times before I could get this to load right. So it's not just you, it's happening to me too. Anyway, make a green wrench graphic into a document guide. Okay, all of our guides are going to be up here under view. And if we go down here, we're going to see, and we're looking for guides. Let's see, where is it here? Could be down further. Here we go. I'm having to scroll down. I've got this tiny little screen, and we can make our own guides. Let's take a look at this real quick. First of all, this is the answer to the question, to make the guides. And what that does is it's not going to print. So you could build something inside these guides, but I want to remind you that if I go to view and I turn on my rulers, I can also remember how we click and drag down, make our own guides? Remember how we did that before as well? So you'll probably see both questions. So we made a guide out of the wrench. The other thing you're going to need to know is you're going to need to be able to go to Edit, Preferences, Guides, and you got to be able to know how to change the color of the guides, or they might tell you something about the grid and how you're going to change how often the grid is. Like maybe they're going to say every 200 points to have the grid, and you can change the colors of the grid as well. Okay, so if we do all that and I click OK, now the guides I made are blue. All the guides are blue now. And if I go back to view and I want to see the grid, here's the grid I just made. So that's a little extra, but and then you could always go back and turn them off so you can hide the guides, you can lock the guides, and you can clear them. So let's just see if I messed anything up by putting all that in. Let's take this view. Let's take the grid off, hide the grid, and go and click next. Okay, next we're adding text to the document that reads upload, and give the size 65 points and a font of Arial and a font of bold, and place it on top of the yellow rectangle. What they mean by on top is they mean stacking it so that the yellow is the background. So I'm going to take my type tool and I'm going to click right here and I'm going to type upload. Make sure that you have that cap locks on. Upload. Select it to affect it and go into my properties. I'm going to make the size of it 65. And then I'm going to make sure that I made it Arial. You can search for Arial. And then it wants it to be bold. And I notice I'm going ahead to do this in a separate step. You want to make sure that it's Arial and then it says bold. That's 65. What else? Okay, the only other thing I need to do is just make sure that I've used my selection tool to place it so that it's overlapping. And now I'm going to click off of it so that it doesn't think I'm still editing the word. Everything should be set. I'm going to go ahead and click next. Now we're changing the angle of the wrench graphic to 180 degrees and changing the fill color to CMYK blue. So let's take a look. So we've got our wrench, and we can do, if we go to Object, Transform, we have a rotate. Let's take a look at that. See how we can tell it we want 180 degrees. If you missed that, I'll do it again. It's under, remember this is an object we're working with. And I'm just selecting the wrench. I'm not selecting this insert, whatever that weird shape is that's there. I'm going to Object, Transform, Rotate. I'm going to type in 180 degrees and click OK. And then I'm going to fill the color to CMYK blue. So if I go to I'm not seeing a lot of my tools. Remember what we can do? We can go to Window, and I want to take my control bar. I want that to be on. And I want to make sure that I'm seeing all my tools. So window, and I need my toolbar to be advanced. Okay, and now I'm also don't see my swatches. So I'm going to go to window and find my swatches, color swatches. And here, if I hover over that, it says there's my CMYK, but that's not cyan. CMYK blue is next to it. It's the darker blue. Now, I'm going to double check because I'm not sure if I needed to move this. I may have had to move that. Let's check and see. Oh, didn't care. Okay, so it was all right. Next. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close this panel. Now we're going to create a pattern brush using the flower graphic. Okay, so what we have to do is, it doesn't matter about having the brush selected right now. We're going to just make a new brush. So what we have to do is find our brush panel. It's not showing here, so I'm going to go to window. Remember, this is where all my panels are. And here we go. Here's my brushes panel. That's F5 if you want to know what the shortcut is. Now, we've already got a whole bunch of created brushes. We're just going to ignore those right now. We also have swatches and symbols here, just as a reminder, but we're going to click the new button to make a new brush. Oops, I forgot to select it. Hold on, cancel. Got to remember to select it to affect it. So I'm going to take my selection tool. I'm selecting the pattern. Now I can go back to my brushes. This is what it looks like here. If I wanted to dock it, I could dock it over here, and it looks like this, brushes. Okay, plus for the new, it's out of a pattern. There's all kinds of brushes that you can make. You'll probably be tested on a scatter brush or art brush, any of these. Just know that this is where you go for a new brush. We're making it out of a pattern. We're clicking OK. And then it's going to have us do something else. It says that it wants us to give the name of this new brush. I like to copy and paste if I can. Oh, it's not letting me copy and paste. So be really careful about your typing. Flower is capitalized. Oops, I got to get the cap locks off. Flower brush all together. There's no space. So flower brush, all like one word, but with the B capitalized. Be really careful. It'll count it wrong if you misspell that or you don't put the capitalize. Okay, and then we're changing the spacing to 25%. Here it says scale, no, spacing. Here we go, 25. I can just type 25 and hit enter. And there it is. Or you could have hit OK. And we're going to go ahead and click next. Oh, it's applying the brush. Make sure I finish this. I'm just going to push stop it. See. Come on. You can see what happened. What I did was I actually applied the new brush to the pattern. You didn't need to do that, and that just made a big mess. It looks kind of cool. I don't know. But anyway, we're just going to click next. We accepted all the defaults. Next. Okay, now we're changing the document color to CMYK for printing, and then changing the resolution. So my documents controls are in my document. I've got this is 2 steps. I want to go to my document setup, and let's see, am I in the right spot? Let's see, wait a minute. Cancel. Nope, not there. File, document color mode. This is where I'm going to change my color mode. And then the resolution, can't remember. So I'm going to go onto the help because I forgot. Colored mode. This one's the tough one. So it's in a completely different area. We're going to have to go to Effects, Document Raster Effects, and change the resolution. Okay, this one you're going to really have to practice this one to remember because I forgot it too. Effects, Document Raster Effects setting. They're talking about the resolution And for some, oh, I could have done both of them here. Okay. 150. Okay, that's why I like to do these together so you can see. Sometimes you get confused. I know I did document. So it's effect, document, raster, effect settings. That's where I can change my color mode and the resolution. Okay. All right, let's do one more. Create a new document that uses web large preset. Name it web design and give it 2 artboards. This one's easy. We're just going to go to File, New. And remember, we have to go to the top here where we have our presets. So we're looking at web. And then it says large. So here's my web large preset. And I'm going to name it web design. It looks like they're giving me 2 different words this time, web design, and then 2 artboards. Okay, and then remember to click create and next. Alrighty, that sounds good for now. We'll stop there.